A viewer from Tacoma emailed King 5's Verify team saying lately the city is getting blamed for crime happening in nearby areas like Gig Harbor. So we looked into the data. Mary from Tacoma says the city is seeing problems with property crime and homicides lately, but says Tacoma often gets a bad rap for what's happening in other cities. She wrote to King 5's Verify team saying, quote, "Very frequently we're told that the crime in Gig Harbor is due to Tacoma criminals crossing the bridge. Is that true?" Gig Harbor Police Chief Kelly Busey says it's not so cut and dry and often depends on the crime being committed.
We do have a fair amount of suspects that come from Tacoma, for sure, but that's not the only place that they come from.
We asked Gig Harbor Police for data on all crimes and felony crimes committed in Gig Harbor from 2020 to 2022, showing where the people committing the crimes are from, and they shared these maps. So let's start with all crimes.
When we look at all crimes committed in Gig Harbor, we can draw lines to various parts of Western Washington. Whether that's Tacoma-centric, that's not necessarily true.
When looking at the heat map showing all crimes in Gig Harbor, you can see the darkest spot on the map is in Gig Harbor, not Tacoma.
If we're talking about all crimes in general, of course we're going to get a higher concentration of suspects or arrestees that originate from Gig Harbor, and it branches out from that. But when we start parsing out different crimes, theft for instance, we see different patterns emerge.
That moves us to felony crimes. Looking at this map, you can see two zip codes highlighted in red. One is in unincorporated Pierce County, just west of Gig Harbor's city limits, and the other is in Tacoma.
They will come across the bridge to commit crimes, but I'm certain that there are people that start in Gig Harbor and would go across the bridge the other way to commit crimes as well.
Chief Busey says to blame the city's crime on Tacoma simply is not accurate. And Chief Busey says this data is based on people they've identified who have committed crimes in Gig Harbor, and there are still unknown suspects. If you have something you want us to verify, send an email or video message to verify@king5.com and we'll look into it.